the crew back together. What were your first thoughts?
Well, for me, I sat down with the three writers of the show, who I heard were talking about doing a series, and they had spoken to Billy, and they said, "Hey, we have this idea for this show. It's called Cobra Kai." I was like, "Seriously?" And you're gonna be like a car salesman, really? And we're gonna redeem Johnny Lawrence, but it's really gonna be good for you too. I was like, okay. As they kept talking, and then talking about the generations and how the show was gonna flesh out and dive into the gray areas of characters, and I had just seen the movie Creed the week before, and that kind of informed how you could go into the Rocky Balboa universe but not make Rocky 7. Everything became smart, and when they started talking about Robbie as Johnny's son who trained with Daniel, and they talked about Samantha, and they talked about Miguel as the millennial Daniel LaRusso, now I started to see the universe open up, and I look way smarter than I am because I said okay, and it's awesome.
We are so glad you did. Yes. We really are. And something I had asked William and Martin a few months ago or a month ago was, what surprised you most about who your characters had become? William, you had a great answer. You're like, I didn't even have a dog.
Yeah, not even a fish. Yes, so they came to guys, Josh, John, and Hayden. Everybody know Josh, John, and Hayden by now? Yes. You know the guys, the three guys who created the show. When they pitched this to me, first of all, it was decades later. So the farthest from my mind and Ralph's mind was that we ever not only would play these characters again, but could play these characters again, because it's a property of Sony Pictures, and you just don't get to do that. But these guys came with a pitch, and they already had Sony behind it. Jerry Weintraub's estate was behind it. Everybody was ready to go, and they just needed to get me and Ralph first to jump in. So we went to this Mexican restaurant in the Valley in L.A., and we all sit down, and you know, Josh Heald did Hot Tub Time Machine, which I was lucky enough to do a little part in. And John and Hayden did what was their thing? Oh, the Harold and Kumar franchise and all that. So I thought it was maybe a sequel to one of those things. And then they sat down and they're like, Johnny Lawrence, Cobra Kai, da-da-da-da. And basically everything that you know about season 1, they spit-fired in about 30 minutes, including what Johnny was doing, what Daniel was doing, and then Miguel and Hawk and all the characters. So it was overwhelming. And I said at the end, I said, you know, you can't just do this, you know. So there was like this little part of Johnny inside of me that was jumping up inside. But we both stepped into it really cautiously, because we really protective of the Karate Kid and what that means to everybody, what it means to us, and but we felt like it was the right guys. And at the end of that meeting, they said, "Are you in?" And I said, "Well, there was nothing on paper, there was nothing to read, it was just the pitch."